It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is What Made the Cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program, an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, and now Mitsubishis in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Bret Bloomquist covers the UTEP Miners for the El Paso Times. Bret, thanks for being with us, man.
All right, good to be here.
So, give us an idea what the Miners are putting on the field this year and who they're going to be bringing up to Maverick Stadium at Utah State. Obviously, when UTEP comes to town, people look and they go, hey, we can get a W against this Miner team. But how do you feel about the talent that's there at the Sun Bowl this year?
Well, there's certainly, the last two recruiting classes have been, arguably the two best in school history since they started rating these things. So they got a lot of good young talent. I mean, of course, that's going to be mostly redshirt freshmen and true freshmen. So, other than that, what they're actually field against Utah State, certainly to start the game, is probably going to look a lot like what they had last year, which, they did win 3 of their last 6 games last year as part of their 3-win season after their 0-6 start. But a lot of continuity, bring back a lot of pieces. That and but with a new quarterback, and I think they're just hoping second year in the program is going to see the improvements you expect to see in the second year of a program.
What do they see in Malachi Nelson? We followed his story a bit from Boise State and bounced around a little bit and finding a home with UTEP. What did he do to separate himself this year?
Well, I think when in doubt, the 5-star guy's going to get a chance, and I think there was plenty of doubt after the spring. He didn't look particularly comfortable in the spring, but then looked better in the fall. He started to show that potential that obviously people saw in him a couple of years ago, and he was, I think he was the highest rated quarterback in that class ahead of Arch Manning, who he's going to play against in a couple of weeks. So. He's got the arm talent. He's got the size, and he started to show a lot more comfortability. He looks like a guy now who's been in the system since the spring, and it looks like the light's starting to come on for him. But I still think expectations should be tempered. I mean, I don't know, how great he's going to be in the first game, but they just want him to take care of the football, and we'll see. But you could sort of tell once the fall started and he started settling in that he was probably going to get the chance there. A chance to go show his 5-star talent.
It's good to have a talent like that. Yeah, with somebody bouncing around, you never know what you're really going to be getting. But UTEP's going to be joining the Mountain West Conference, of course, starting up, I guess it would be next season officially. And so leaving Conference USA, the mix-up of conferences has been super weird. But what are the thoughts so far about moving to the Mountain West Conference and being part of what that new conference is going to look like?
Oh, they are so excited about that. I mean, I'll be honest, I think they've been missing the Mountain West since it was formed. Of course, they were in that 16-team WAC that broke apart. And I think they very much identified with the schools that went to the Mountain West. UTEP was just kind of in double jail then in football and basketball, both on probation. And, when the Mountain West formed, they didn't want it. And UTEP very much felt like they got left behind in a jailbreak. And I think they've been going to the Mountain West ever since. But they sure were excited when they got the call. And, you can't get here soon enough for them, although they're going to have to certainly raise a little to be more competitive. It's not as good. So they have a long ways to go, but they're excited to start that trip.
What else do you know about UTEP based on personnel? It's so hard to scout teams anymore with the transfer portal and everything going on. Or who are some names we need to keep an eye on this game coming up this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, there are 2 best skill position players coming back. Thomas, a return guy, and what they call a runner back, which is sort of a hybrid between running back and receiver. And then Kenny Odom was a top pass catcher last year, so they returned that. Then they returned a pretty good portion of their offensive line, although their offensive line, frankly, wasn't too great last year. And their recruiting class, they have like these 5 huge freshmen. Who the sooner they're out there on the field, the better I think UTEP's going to be. They made a move to get a lot bigger there on the offensive line, but that's going to be for the future. So that's the big issue against Utah State's going to be, can their line be improved from last year? Then defensively, they're kind of led by Katie Johnson, the defensive end. One of those, last year he did his senior day, and that was it for him. But he's a junior college transfer and ended up getting another year because of that Diego Pevia lawsuit. So, after he'd done his senior day, thought he was done, and all of a sudden he gets to come back for a fifth year. Katie Johnson, yeah, and then they got a pretty good secondary. Xavier Smith, safety, probably the best player, and cornerback Neil Campbell's a veteran hand there, and then a pretty largely turned over linebacking core, but they feel pretty good there, and Shefeld's a big returner there for them. So they got a fair amount back from last year, which you could look at as plus or minus, because last year wasn't a great year, but second year in the system for everybody, and I think they expect to be a little bit better this year.
Bret Bloomquist, he covers the UTEP Miners for the El Paso Times. We appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight into who's coming up to Maverick Stadium this weekend. Enjoy covering this one. It's a beautiful setting.
All right, can't wait to see it.
There you go, Bret Bloomquist, everybody.